similar to the sit-up. It is a modification. Working the rectus abdominis, the lats, lower back, a little bit of shoulders and rhomboids, but those are really just more for support. We're really trying to focus on that rectus abdominis. So we'll talk about hand position first. So Sandra has her hands back behind her head, and when she lifts and lowers, it's just a small range of motion. She's going to do that crunch. She's going to lift and lower. So it's not all the way up like a sit-up. It's sort of halfway between. We do still want to get both shoulder blades off the ground, so she doesn't want to do a sit-up that doesn't have her shoulders coming off the ground, and it's just a head movement. That would not be a good thing. So we do want to make sure we're challenging those abdominals all the way as much as we can. We can also modify this if someone's having trouble with this lever of the hands. We can cross them across the chest, which would make it much easier for someone who might have some issues with core strength. And so we just want to make sure that they're still bringing the shoulders up and off the ground. They're looking to the sky. So they're not looking up above. They're not pushing the chin out. They're not coming too far forward on the chin, but the chin's in a neutral position, and the person's coming up and down with it. There is a slight tuck in the tailbone, but she also wants to make sure she keeps her feet down to the ground. So when she tucks her tailbone, it's just emphasizing the push of the abdominals down into the spine. So she really just wants to keep crunching to that point until she feels the nice pull of the belly button coming down to the spine. If she wanted to do a variation on this crunch, she could do an oblique crunch. She could do hands overhead. So crunches can be done in many different positions. So here's an oblique crunch. She's dropping her knees to the side. She's still working so that the shoulders are coming up off the ground. There's also a side-to-side oblique crunch, which you can just go side to side. And the crunch is, again, doesn't come all the way off the ground. It's not a full sit-up. She's lifting and rotating and twisting the body. So again, still working through the rectus abdominis, the internal and external obliques, and the transversus abdominis. Somebody who might have issues with this would be someone that maybe has some lower back issues or some weak abdominal issues, as we've said before with some of these other ab exercises. But the crunch is really the basis for all other abdominal exercises. So when in doubt, if something is bothering you with a sit-up or a flutter kick or a bicycle, you can always take it to a crunch, which is a half movement of what your full range of motion would be. So if you needed to modify anything as from an abdominal exercise standpoint, you always want to just take it down to a crunch. It's going to work the same muscles with a smaller range of motion.